When I was 9 years old, I was in a house fire, burned on 100% of my body.
A young boy experimenting with paper and gasoline.
It's an experience that I remember vividly. The can of gasoline blowing up. I remember running through the garage on fire. I remember my brother Jim saving my life. I remember being in the back of an ambulance.
At the hospital, O'Leary's parents received somber news.
They told us that he had less than 0.5% chance of making it over in the first night.
Then a well-known broadcaster stepped into the young fan's hospital room. The 9-year-old couldn't move, see, or speak.
And then I hear the voice of the legendary announcer Jack Buck, who says, "Kid, wake up. You are going to live. You are going to survive. Keep fighting."
Jack Buck returned, visiting O'Leary regularly during the 5 months he was in the hospital. He made John O'Leary Day at the ballpark. But the boy in his wheelchair wasn't writing after having fingers amputated.
A day later or so, there's a ball in the mailbox from Ozzie Smith with a note below it from Jack that read, "Kid, if you want a second baseball, all you have to do is sign a thank you letter to the man who signed the first." By the end of it, I received 60 baseballs in the mail from one busy announcer teaching a little kid at home in a wheelchair how to write. It transformed my life.
Not only did he learn to write, he learned to play piano. He graduated from DeSmet High School and St. Louis University, where he met his wife, Beth.
"How about you sit right here, my big girl?" Oh.
The couple had 4 children. But interestingly enough, John and his family never really talked about the fire or his recovery.
After his accident, our whole attitude was to really, I think, move forward with 6 children. You're just, you're giving it your best to just do this one day at a time.
My goal as a kid was just to be ordinary, just to be a normal little kid again.
But in 1993, John's father, Denny, was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. He eventually had to quit working. In his free time, the retired attorney started writing, and he and his wife published a book in 2006 about John's experience. Their words changed John's perspective.
I think John, in looking at this, realized for the first time, this really is a story. I accomplished unbelievable odds, and I survived. And my parents are now sharing this story, and I think he was proud of it.
I never really thought what my mom and dad went through. Never thought about what my brother Jim went through. Never thought about my 4 sisters missing out on their mom and dad for almost 5 months. So it wasn't just poor John, it was, oh my gosh, the entire family went through this thing. So for me, that was a game changer.
Forget about fear, leave it behind, let it go into yesterday. Let's talk about love. So that's the starting point. Love. Love of our work, love of our team, love of the folks we get to serve, love of life.
Part of that game change, John began speaking publicly about his experience. He became so busy, he quit his job as a real estate developer and began speaking to companies and groups around the world.
I realized the story's not tragic, it's actually triumphant. It's worthy of being shared, and in sharing it, it teaches other people how to live their story even better.
He realized how one person can make such an impact on another person's life. Jack Buck even gave O'Leary his Hall of Fame crystal ball.
For me, I can't think of anyone who was bigger in my life than Jack Buck.
O'Leary wants to be that person for others who are struggling with their own battles. So he put his story into his own book, On Fire.
I want to wake them up to realize, man, we are blessed. And maybe it's time to act like it, to celebrate it, and to make a difference in the communities where you live and where you work.
He's learned totally what life is about and how to share it with others. We're very proud of him.
Our goal is that it can touch hundreds of thousands and then millions of lives, and that we create a movement of people who are pursuing significance rather than success. Oh, look at that!
O'Leary says he uses his story to spark connections with people. He sees now that his career, his family, his faith are all the result of his journey.
In other words, the best of my life today is the direct result of a fire when I was 9 years old. You're not promised tomorrow, so quit thinking about tomorrow, quit dreading what happened yesterday, and live instead in the moment.